Sri Margabandhu Stotram. This is a very beautiful composition. It is said to be by Appaya in the 15th century as a Vidwan, and he had composed many other beautiful compositions, and he's generally referred, anybody refers to him as a Dikshitar. Dikshitar means one who has taken to initiation. Diksha means to take initiation. So Dikshitar means one who has initiated himself to be the servant of the Lord. So this Appaya Dikshitar is said to be the composer of this beautiful stotram. And as you know, the very topic is Margabandhu. Bandhu means a friend. And a friend is a friend. We say in English, a friend indeed is a friend in need. Friend in need is friend indeed, right? Right? That is usually what is said. Friend in need. Can you just close the door? Just see whether it is outside, it is locked or open. That's very important. Or keep it a little close. So, friend in need is friend indeed. So, a friend always in need is not your friend indeed. Friend in your need is friend indeed. But Bandhu also means a Sakha, not only Sakha but also a companion. So, Bandha means one who is very close to you, bonded to you. The English word bond is Bandhu. So, in our life's journey, how many actually would accompany us? When you are traveling in a train or in a flight or whatever, there must be some people who are there. They are there only from the beginning of the journey, and at the end of the journey, they are done. So in the same way, in this world also, if we consider that as a journey, your parents will be there for some time after you get married, and you drift away from them, your brothers, your sisters. But then, who will be there all the time? One may say, oh, my wife or my husband will be there. But we are not talking about the journey of this body, but the journey of the soul. The soul that is constantly in travel. That travel is what we are talking about. In that travel, there can be only one constant company, and that is the Lord. So, Marga here means path. Literal meaning is a path. But Marga also means Sanmarga, the divine path. The path that will lead us to the highest emancipation, enlightenment. So, and this path usually is not very smooth. It's not a rose bed. Our path is usually infested with all ups and downs, all dangers, all tragedies, all comedies, all happiness, all sorrows. And very rarely we find in our life there is someone who can be fully trusted, to whom we can share all our tragedies and comedies and sorrows and joy. Because it is said that whenever there is happiness, there are a lot of people who are around you. When there is sorrow, a few people will be there. So that is why the Kabir Das one Doha they says that if everybody remembers, actually in general everybody remembers God when they are in sorrow. If someone can remember the Lord even when there is happiness, for him is there any sorrow at all in life? Usually when we dukh में सुमिरन सब करे, सुख में करे न कोई. जो सुख में सुमिरन करे तो दुख का है वो. So if one can remember the Lord during the happiness, then obviously there cannot be any unhappiness at all. So Marge Bandhu, Marga Bandhu. In our life journey, there is only one constant companion, a divine companion. And that is the Lord. Shambhu Mahadeva Deva. Shiva Shambho Mahadeva Devesha Shambho.
Shiva Shambho Mahadeva Devesha Shambho.
Shambho Mahadeva Deva.
Shambho Mahadeva Deva.
Shiva Shambho Mahadeva Devesha Shambho.
Shiva Shambho Mahadeva Devesha Shambho.
Shambho Mahadeva Deva.
Shambho Mahadeva Deva.
Bhagavan Shiva is referred as Shambhu. One meaning is Sham Sukham Bhavayati idi Shambhu. Bhavayati, one makes it possible for one to have Sham, means Sukham. Sham Bhavayati idi Shambhu. One who is capable of giving joy, Sukham, happiness. We always seek those people company who give us joy, not constantly nagging and crying and all that. One person, he was staying in a hotel for a long time. Office work for almost a month. And one day he told the people in the restaurant where they serve everyday breakfast, etc. He said, tomorrow morning, please give me a rundown egg omelette, cold coffee, and burnt bread. So they were wondering, why do you want that? You please give me. So he said, okay. Next day, burnt bread, running down egg, omelette, and a cold coffee. So the waitress came and kept. Then he said, please stand next to me and keep nagging me. So she said, why? Because I am feeling homesick. So, I'm just joking, don't take it too seriously. So, somebody who is constantly, you don't feel like that company. Slowly. So, what happens is, when we have somebody who is constantly giving only disturbance, that cannot be a real companion. So, Shambhu, Sham Sukham Bhavayadi idi Shambhu. Shambhu Mahadeva, Supreme Lord. Shiva Shambho, the auspicious. See, the Sukham can be of various varieties, but here, auspicious Sukham. Shiva, I have explained to you, Shivam Sundaram, Satyam Shivam Sundaram. It is a beautiful set of words to explain the nature of the Lord. Satya means that which is always there. Satya means that Trikale api abadita vastu satyam. It is a definition. In 3 periods of time, that which does not become absent. Trikale, in 3 periods of time, past, present and future, abhadita, unfailing, vastu. So what is that which was there always in the past, which is there now, which will ever be there? That is called as Satyam. So the Lord is referred as Satyam because he is never absent. Number 1. Only that which is never absent you can never depend upon. That which is sometime there, sometime not there, you can never depend upon that. And that ability, that in which you can ever depend upon is called Shivam. And it is beautiful. Because one on whom you can ever depend upon, one whom you can never feel obliged to, He is always present, whether you like it or not, whether you want it or not, whether you seek it or not. He is always there. That is called Sundaram. It's beautiful. So Shiva is Shambho, is ever auspicious, always joy giving. Shiva Shambho Mahadeva Devesha Shambho. Now we'll go to the first verse here, verse number 1. Palavanamrat Kiritam Falanetrarchisha Pancheshu Kitam Shulahatarati Kutam Shuddhamardendu Chudam Bhaje Margabandhum Shambho Mahadeva Deva Shiva Shambho Mahadeva Devesha Shambho
Shiva Shambho Mahadeva Devesha Shambho.
Together. Palavanamrat Kiritam Palanetrarchisha Pancheshu Kitam Shulahatarati Kutam Shuddhamardendu Chudam Bhaje Margabandhum Shambho Mahadeva Deva Shiva Shambho Mahadeva Devesha Shambho Shambho Mahadeva Deva. Here in every verse, what we will find is there is a description of the Lord, the nature of the Lord, and there is a physical beauty of the Lord also. Both are given. The divine nature and the physical nature. Because our mind usually get connected with the physical part of the what it perceives first, and then it is able to understand the divine nature. That's why we need the temple, the shrines, the pictures, the forms, the icons. Why? Because remembering God as an abstract nature is very difficult for the mind. That's why in Bhagavad Gita also Bhagavan Krishna says, those who are thinking of me in the abstract nature, the difficulties is more. Dukkam aptum ayogadaha. Because that people or the people who do not have the yoga, proper purification of the mind, to renounce everything and remember the Lord exclusively in the abstract nature is very difficult. And especially Dehavadbihi, those who are so identified with the physical body, to remember the Lord as non-physical is very, very difficult. So physical form is explained, and from there he takes off to explain the divine nature. Now you see, Phalavanamrat Kiritam. Kiritam means crown. And the Bhagavan Shiva is said to be wearing a beautiful crown on the head. And Phalavanamrat, it can be explained in two ways. I have seen two explanations. One is Phalau Anamrat. Namra means to humble. Namrata means humble person. Anamrat means which does never humble down. Phalau, on his head, forehead, there is a crown which never bows down. Such a beautiful composition there. That crown of that Lord which never humbles down to anybody, meaning He is the supreme most, and beyond whom nobody, therefore there is nobody to whom he has to bow down. Phalau anamrat kiridam. Another meaning or another interpretation is Phala avanamrat kiridam, meaning coming down on his forehead. The crown that comes down on his forehead. So there's two ways of looking at it. The crown of the Lord, which is never bowed down to anybody, is one thing. Or the Lord wearing a crown which comes down on his forehead. Palavanamrat kiridam. Palanetrarchisha dakta pancheshu kidam. You know, Bhagavan Shiva has got, is referred as Trinetradhari. Netra means eyes. Trinetra means three eyes. And the third eye is in the forehead. Phala means the third eye. Archisha, spark. That eye is called the eye of wisdom, which is full of fire. So it is said, Chandra Suryagni Lochanaha. Bhagavan Shiva said, Chandra is left side. Chandra Surya Agni Lochanaha. He has moon as the left eye, sun as the right eye, fire as the third eye. And why the third eye is called fire? Because it's the fire of knowledge. And when he is sitting in meditation, if you closely observe, he keeps these two eyes half closed and this eye open. Slightly open, not fully. Fully open means everything will get burnt. Idea is that he is aware of the world but not participating in the world. That is called half closed eye. And the third eye also is half closed. But when he is disturbed by anybody who is disturbing his meditation or those who are enemies, Phalanetra Archisha, by the fire of the third eye, Dagda Pancheshu Kitam. Dagda means he completely burnt. What? Kitam. One meaning of Kitam is all these insects like all the enemies with Pancha Ishu. Pancha Ishu means with the 5 arrows which is there in his quiver. So his quiver, consider him as like a hunter who is living in the forest. His quiver has got those arrows which are fired by his third eye. If he takes and uses it, then nobody can ever withstand that. So they are all fully powered by missile attack, fully powered by his third eye. Palanetra Archisha Dakta Pancheshu Kitam. So his arrows are well completely fired up, Dagda, by the third eye of the Lord which is there in his forehead. And he keeps that ready. Dakta Pancheshu Kitam. So which means, when he is your company, you have no fear. Why? Because he is always ready to release his divine arrows fired up by his third eye called the fiery eye, knowledge. And with him as your company, you can never be ever afraid of any enemy. Enemy here does not mean an external enemy, but an enemy who can be within also, in the form of anger, lust, passion, greed. Shulahatarati Kutam. So, Shula, with his Shula, the Trishula. Trishula means, as you see, the 3 spears that are there put together. That Shula, representing symbolically Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. He wields these 3 as his weapon. With that, Arati Kutam Hataha. Hatha means destroyed. Whom? Arati Kutam. Arati, not Arati. Arati Kodam. Arati means enemies. Why it is say Narati Dadadi Sukam? Idi Arati. See, in Sanskrit, the words have to be a little carefully to be understood. Rati means, Ra is to give. Rati means to, Dadati gives. Narati means Arati. It doesn't give. Sukam na dadati. Those who do not give any joy to you, who are those to you? They are the enemies. So, Shula Hatha Aradi Kutam. Kutam means a group of people who are your enemies. Host of enemies are completely destroyed by the Shula. The Lord is protector, because who is your protector? What do you call the bodyguard? Oh, any enemy comes anywhere near, immediately he can attack them. So you see, all these things are to show that he is a protector. Shulahatarati Kudam Shuddam Ardhendu Chudam. And he also wears Ardha Indu, half moon. Ardha, half. Indu, moon. Ardhendu Chudam, he wears it as a crescent. What do you call? Crescent moon, he wears it as his, what do you call that? The head, diadem. And which is pure. Now you see, very many people ask this question. What is the connection between Bhagavan Shiva and moon? I have told you this earlier also. Because Monday, moon day. Sunday, sun is moon. Sun is Surya. Ravivar. Monday is Somvar. Bhagavan Shiva is the deity of the mind. And our mind is constantly idhar, right? It is never in one condition. Sometime happy, sometime unhappy. Sometime want, sometime I don't want. Sometime I interested something, same thing I am become so disinterested afterwards. The mind is of the nature of fickleness. More pickle you eat, more fickle you become. So it is constantly fluctuating. That is why it is called Samshayatmika. There is the nature of Samshaya is the nature of the mind. Sankalpa Vikalpatmika. It decides to do something, after some time it says, no, I am not interested in that. There is no determination. Such is the nature of the mind. So such a mind, to hold it in one position is very difficult. And Bhagavan Shiva is the one who is capable of holding it in his control. That is Somavar. If you ask any psychiatrist, he will tell you, on a full moon day, he'll get more calls. You know why? Lunar and lunatic are connected. I'm not joking. It is true. I have seen, not in myself, but I've seen in many people. No, there is scientific reasoning also. Our body, 80% is water. 80% of the body is water. If water is removed from the body, it will be like a potalam. It is like a small brittle powder. The water is that which gives us shape. The more water you take, more shapely you become. More water in the body, more shapely the body becomes. So the water is subject to be influenced by the moon. As you know, on a full moon day, the waves in the ocean is very high. Why? The power of attraction that is there in the moon will disturb the movement of the water. Similarly, if our physical body has such amount of water, will it not react to the moon? That is the reason why on a full moon day, usually some of the people will eat less and fasting, because want to reduce the activity of the mind. It's very scientific reasoning is there. Why people are so, conscious about all these things. Our elders have said this. Your body will react to the movements of the stars, etc. No doubt, movement of the planets, especially moon. So, if you look at it that way also, Bhagavan Shiva is the one who will control the movements of the mind, for he is the deity of the moon. That's why it's called Moon Day, Monday, Somwar. Right? So, what does it mean by he is wearing a crescent moon? Meaning, even as the mind is under his control, when he is in meditation, the mind is so thin, like the crescent moon. Mind is there, not absent, but not agitating, disturbing him anymore. It is not the mindless meditation. Mind is there, minimum level, like a crescent, last streak. And he makes sure that that mind which is present there is under his control and not disturbing him. Shuddhamardendu chudam, the one. Bhaje margabandhum, I worship the one divine companion of mine. Palavanamrat kiritam, Palanirtarchisha, Dagda pancheshu kitam, Shulahatarati kutam, Shuddhamardendu chudam, Bhaje margabandhum, Shambho Mahadeva Deva, Shiva Shambho Mahadeva Devesha Shambho. The next verse. Ange virajat bhujangam,
Ange virajat bhujangam,
Abraganga taranga viramottamangam,
Abraganga taranga viramottamangam,
Omkaravati kurangam,
Omkaravati kurangam,
Siddha samsevitangrim bhaje margabandhum,
Siddhasam sevitam
Bhaje margabandhum, Shambho Mahadeva Deva, Shambho
Mahadeva Deva.
Together. Ange virajat bhujangam, Abraganga taranga viramottamangam, Omkaravati kurangam, Siddha samsevitangrim bhaje margabandhum, Shambho Mahadeva Deva, Shiva Shambho Mahadeva Devesha Shambho, Shambho Mahadeva Deva. Ange, in his body, Bhujangam Virajat. His body, he is full of various forms of snakes. Snaky body. Virajat, shines, decorated by Bhujanga. You know why it is called Bhujanga? Because snakes do not have legs, as you know. So how do they move around? With Bhuja. The shoulder alone they have. With the Bhuja eva anga. The whole body is nothing but shoulder. Bhuja eva yasya angaha bhujangaha. That which has the shoulder as its body. So, Ange Virajat, in Tulsi Ramayana, you will find it such an interesting thing. So, when it's about marriage of Shiva, is explained in the very beginning itself. And his retinues, all these fellows, they are trying to decorate the Lord. They don't have, like Vishnu has lot of, because Vishnu is Alankara Priya. Vishnu is full of Alankar. But Bhagavan Shiva is not Alankar Priya, he is Abhisheka Priya. Keep on doing Abhisheka, he will be so happy with that. So, they are trying to decorate him as a bridegroom, but nothing to groom because there is nothing. So in the Kailash, what do you find? Crawling all the snakes and they catch one of them, put a mess. This is garland. What about the anklet? That is also another small. What about here? That is another one. Small little. Everywhere you will find only the full body is full of whether it's a necklace or an amulet or the the earrings or the headgear. Everything is nothing but snake. Ange virajat bhujangam. See why? What it signifies is he the one who takes what others do not want. That's what he is. Where others reject it, he very happily will take it. Because in this creation, nothing is a waste. We don't use it. That doesn't mean it is unnecessary. It is the Lord's creation, everything has a purpose. The Lord says, if you think that it is useless for you, doesn't matter. I will take it. He is a recycling agent. What you throw it away, doesn't matter. I will use it for the next creation. Ange virajat bhujangam abraganga taranga abhiramottamangam uttama angam. It's a beautiful body. The most beautiful body that he has, exalted form. Uttama means exalted form, angam. How it is? Abra Ganga Taranga Abhirama Uttama Angam. His body is so exalted because it is constantly being showered with the waves of Ganga. Taranga means waves. Abhirama, he revels in that. And why is called Abhisheka Priya? Because there is a constant water flow from his head itself, even if you don't put anything. So, Abra Ganga. Abra means, literal meaning is, in Sanskrit, apaha means water. Apam bibarti idi abraha. That which holds water. So his head like a mega. See, we call Abra literally means a cloud. Why it's a cloud? Not iCloud. Nowadays iCloud is also there. Cloud is that which holds water. That is why it's called Abra in Sanskrit. Apam bibarti idi abraha. That which holds water. His head is like that of the cloud. Why? It's always as the Ganges. Abra Ganga Taranga Abhiramo Tamangam. His body is such beautiful, divine, because constantly there is flow of the waves of Ganga which he holds on his head like that of a cloud. So one meaning is, what do you mean by, if you have touched Ganges, you would know. Most cold, I have told you when chanting Ganga Stotram, very cold, coming directly from the snow-clad mountains. Your head must be always cool. That's what it means. Then there is no problem. When head gets heated up, then there will be a lot of problem there. Hypertension, blood pressure. So it is said, Pair garam, pet naram, shir tanda. This is the best health. Pair garam. Feet should be warm. Pet naram. Your stomach must be supple. And shir tanda. The head should be cool. If it is the opposite, it will be a problem. Shir garam, pair tanda means cold feet. Cold feet means you can't stand. Garam, the head is hot-headed. Then there will be real trouble. So Bhagavan shows that keep your mind cool, whatever happens. Chalo theek hai. What can, to some extent I can correct it. After some time, you just go on and thinking about it. Why this, that. You keep on thinking about something, it keeps heating up. So keep your head cool. That's what Bhagavan Shiva. Cool. The cool Lord. Head cool. Abraganga tarangabhiramottamangam. And next beautiful. Omkaravati kurangam. You know, if you see in Nataraj, the form of Nataraj, you will find one hand he has got a deer. One hand is fire, another hand is deer, another third hand he has the Damaru, fourth hand is Abhaya. So one hand he has a deer. What it means is deer is very swift, very fast, very fast. And Kurangam is deer. And this Lord is referred as the deer who moves around in the forest of Omkar. See, deer gets completely fascinated by music or sound. That is how they catch the deer. Deer cannot be caught because they are very fast. So how do the hunters catch the deer? Play beautiful music in the flute. And with the long ears, that deer stands there enraptured by the sound, music. It just stands there still. That is the time, kill it. So otherwise they will, even the smallest sound they will run. But when it comes to music, they will be totally, like a statue they stand. Bhagavan is like the Kuranga, deer, to whom Omkara is what makes him fascinated. Omkara Vati means forest. In the forest of Omkar, the Lord is totally captured like that of a deer. Omkara Vati Kurangam. That is his nature. Siddha Samsevitangrim. He whose feet are constantly worshipped by the Siddhas. Siddha Samsevita Angrim. Angri means feet. Whose feet is constantly worshipped by Siddha Purushat. Sevita means worshipped, served by the Siddha. Siddhas means those who have accomplished great masters. Siddha Samsevitangrim Bhaje Marga Bandhum. So here is a new technique that is given to us. The way to capture the heart of the Lord is Omkar. When you chant Om, Bhagavan Shiva is the one who gets immediately connected. Because he is captured by the sound of Om, like that of a deer, which is captured by this music. That is why Om Namah Shivaya. The Om is the sixth one. Namah Shivaya is the Panchakshara. Om is the sixth one. So that's the beauty of this beautiful verse. Ange virajat bhujangam abraganga taranga viramottamangam omkaravati kurangam siddha samsevitangrim bhaje marga bandhum Shambho Mahadeva Deva Shiva Shambho Mahadeva Devesha Shambho Shambho Mahadeva Deva. The next verse is Nityam Chidananda Rupam
Nityam Chidananda Rupam
Nihnuta Shesha Lokesha Vairi Pratapam
Nityam Shesha Lokesha Vairi Pratapam
Kartaswaragendra Chapam
Kartaswaragendra Chapam
Krittivasam Bhaje Divya Sanmarga Bandhum
Krittivasam Bhaje Divya Sanmarga Bandhum
Shambho Mahadeva Deva.
Shambho महादेव देव
together. Nityam Chidanandarupam Nihnutasheshalokesha Vairi Pratapam Kartaswaragendra Chapam Kritivasam Bhajesan Sivya Sanmarga Bandhum Shambho Mahadeva Deva Shiva Shambho Mahadeva Devesha Shambho Shambho Mahadeva Deva. The nature of the Lord is bliss, joy, Ananda Rupam. But what kind of Ananda is? Chidananda Rupam. There is such a beauty in this word Chidananda, because our joy is Vishayananda. Because we find happiness only when we get something, or we find happiness when we get rid of something. Let us say that some relatives have come and stayed with you for a long time, and they're nagging and so much of trouble, and then once they say, we are leaving, thank God. Or some sickness that you have, some unhealth, some stomach ache, some headache, or whatever ache. So once that is gone, relieved. Has it not? So either by getting rid of something we get happiness, or gaining something, new house, new business, or new this, new dress. So whatever, when we get something, then, so either by gaining something or by getting rid of something. But Bhagavan Shiva represents that nature of joy which neither leaves nor it is that which is ever to be gained. Chid Anand. Chid means awareness or consciousness which is there whether you have anything else or nothing at all. It is always. So that constant happiness, that happiness which is not brought in by anything, nor it is because of the absence of anything. Because that Chit consciousness is never absent, and you can never gain it by any means. It is constant. Nityam, that is why they added Nityam Chidananda Rupam. That which is Nityam, always constant, which is Chidananda Rupam, conscious, bliss of consciousness. See, that is what we must finally achieve. Meaning, Gurudeva is Chinmaya Ananda, full of consciousness. Meaning, see, anything that is there, anything that is not there, should never disturb our happiness. That is our goal. The goal of life is to find that joy, whether it is something is there or nothing is there. There should not be any disturbance to that happiness. In fact, we are that only. We just do not remember that. Otherwise, you can never be happy when you go to sleep. Why do you find so much joy in sleep? Do you gain anything? Nothing. Do you lose anything? Nothing. Of course, you lose the whole world. Even still, you are happy. So the joy of nidra is where you gain nothing. By sleeping, you gain nothing. By sleeping, you lose nothing, but still you are happy. So that joy which is always there, we get a glimpse of that in the sleep. When it becomes a permanent nature, not permanent nature of sleep, permanent nature of joy, then that is Chidananda. Knowing very well, neither I gaining something, I can be happy, nor by losing something, can I be happy. I am always of the nature of joy. Nityam Chidananda Rupam Nihnuta Ashesha Vairi. He has Nihnuta, he has killed. Nihanti means destroys. Ashesha, all. Vairi Pratapam. Every enemy that is there in the world has been destroyed by him. Why? He is a Lokesha. He is the Lord of this whole world, to whom there is no enemy left behind. Such is the power of the Lord. Nihnuta Ashesha Vairi. Vairi means enemy. That's why in English, virus. When your computer has got what? My computer has a lot of vairis. So it became, in English, became virus. Vairi. So the Lord is one who has destroyed Nihnuta Ashesha, all possible vairis. And therefore he is a Lokesha. He is the Lord of the universe. With what he has destroyed all the enemies? Karta Swaragendra Chapam. Chapa is bow. With his bow, which is Kartaswara. Kartaswara Indra Chapam. Indra means most excellent bow. What is the Indra Chapa? You know that? The bow of the Indra. You know what it is? It's called rainbow. The rainbow is the bow of Indra. And what kind of rainbow is this? Kartaswara means gold. The golden rainbow. You might have seen the 7-color rainbow, but the Lord wields that rainbow which is gold in color. Kartaswaragendra Chapam. Kartaswara Aga. Aga means a hill. The beautiful hill of gold, this heap of gold, is in the form of a bow. That is what the Lord is wielding there, holding that as his weapon. But the Lord is so simple. I'm telling you, there is no other simple Lord than Bhagavan Shiva. Why? You know what he wears? Bark of a tree. Krittivasam. If you have seen in the deeper forest, you will find, especially when we have our ashram in the Piercy area, and you'll see redwood trees, the tall, huge, most ancient ones, 2,000, 3,000 years old. And their skin is exactly like human skin. Soft, brown, with a lot of, various layers. And if you touch it, you will find warm. And you feel they are alive. So, they are living for thousands of years. Tall, huge ones. So, when you really feel that power of the presence there. So, Lord is one who wears the very basic, simple things of life. Krittivasam. He wears the bark of a tree. Meaning, he is not interested in, showing off with a lot of clothes and various decorations. He is wearing the bark of a tree as his clothing. Vasa means clothing. Krittivasam bhaje divya sanmarga bandhum. I worship, I pray, bhaje. Divya sanmarga. He the one who is a divine companion. Divya sanmarga bandhu. Nityam Chidananda Rupam Nihnutasesha Lokesha Vairi Pratapam Kartvaswaragendra Chapam Krittivasam Bhaje Divya Sanmarga Bandhum Shambho Mahadeva Deva Shiva Shambho Mahadeva Devesha Shambho Mahadeva Deva. We'll see rest of them in the next session. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhat Bhaved. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.